That's a long hose.
I mean, even if you just add up everything that's here, it's worth the money.
This thing right here is worth the money. So the hose, my hose on my pressure washer, all the outside fell off. This doesn't look like any of it's falling off, does it?
Don't look at all.
Check it out. I bet it's old. I bet oh, the hose?
Yeah.
I bet the hose isn't that old. So look at this beauty. This was on Facebook Marketplace and Nick sent his people to pick it up. It's a steam cleaner. Uh-oh, here it comes.
We even got it for a deal. I was able to wiggle him down at least $50. He had already cut it down $100.
Think
So we got
about
150 off.
$50, I mean $300 for a steam cleaner. We know
Yeah.
nothing about.
2 electric motors, a high pressure fuel pump, a high pressure water pump, all of the hydraulic pressure.
And half a tank of diesel.
That's worth $50 right there.
It is nowadays. But we're trying to figure out, so there's a water tank in here. It's like, what does that water tank do? It's got a toilet float on it. So it's got this
full of water.
Yeah, the toilet float's full of water.
Seems a little backwards.
So it's like, what's the point of, but here's the thing, why would it even have that?
I think it's because this is where the exhaust comes out.
It is,
So it's
but-
got to be keeping that from heating this.
Okay, but you could just fill it up with water.
Yeah.
But here's my theory. It fills that up with water. This pump, this one up here, they will suck. I turn my pressure washer's got basically that same pump. I turn it on the garden hose. If I forget to turn the garden hose on, I'll be washing my car and it'll stop. And it'll suck the garden hose flat. So I think it sucks out of that. I think that way it keeps this water cool to keep the diesel from getting hot. And it uses that water in the pressure washer.
Surge tank.
Yeah, kind of. So you fill it up here, it fills that up, and then the pump is pulling down here. It's sucking that water out of there. But it does two things. It keeps the diesel from getting hot because the flames are blowing in here. I bet it sounds like a jet. And then it uses that water that's hot and refills it. We're figuring this thing out.
You've got a plug. Do you have this kind of plug?
That's a like construction. That's typically a 110. So he said it was 220, but he's wrong because the motors say 110.
Yeah, they say 115.
That's just a twist lock, like at a
Yeah.
construction, job. So you
Yeah.
twist it and you can drag the cords.
So he must have he never definitely even tried to plug it in. If
No,
he
but-
did, he would have burned it up.
Check this thing out. So we can wash the roofs of our building with this bad boy. There's enough hose on there to wash the. Look at that thing.
Gooseneck washer.
Jeez. But the cool thing is you just unscrew it right there and put a regular one on. So for washing, as hot as that is, like an engine compartment or transmission, if you could hold it, it might go like this. Whatever, it's cool. I dig it. So what I want to do is rebuild it, straighten it looks like a tractor. It looks like a lawnmower.
It really does. The hood does for sure.
I bet you, I'm guessing it's a 1973 vintage.
Looks like an old Craftsman.
It may not be that old, but it's pretty friggin' old.
That's probably the 80s, maybe early 90s.
It may be. It's got a thermostat up here to adjust. I just hope the pressure pump and
There's no rust on it whatsoever.
the tires even have air. Those are pre-China. I'm serious. You
Yeah.
couldn't get a tire now that would hold air for as long as those. They're dry cracked and they're still holding air. Kind of exciting.
They don't make them like they used to.
It's like this truck. We're gonna wash this pig.
Yeah.
Look at the diesel on the tailgate. We're gonna wash it off.
I can't wait to. I'm just really excited for the bugs. I want to see how well this does on bugs.
On what? Oh, on the
Bugs.
front of the trailer.
Yeah, front of the trucks and the trailers. Those are my worst nightmare.
It's got to do good. Think about that hose. You can reach up there
Yeah.
and wash it without getting too close.
No ladders anymore.
All right, so stay tuned. We're going to make a really cool machine. See how long that hose is and if it's all in good shape. It looks to be really good. It doesn't look that old, but it's still got the writing on it. Yeah, this is twisted inside. That's 40 feet? Yeah,
Still spray you from here.
and hot. You can
It's like we're lighting off a freaking jet. Start the
is.
pumps.
What's the pressure?
And then it goes. Right.
It's gonna. But now, oh, there's probably what was wrong with it, why they stopped using it.
Yep. They were professional electricians.
Okay, this is sketchy.
Good thing is this is what they make circuit breakers for.
That's right.
If you get it wrong, it's just an announcement. Click. Got it wrong.
Do we need to even worry about ground? Who wants to do that? That's for sissies. But it's right there, so look at all those stray wires because it's so big. If they touch though, they're like a little automotive fuse, they'll just pop.
Yeah, well, they're a fusible link. Slow blow.
Okay, so we'll just plug this in and lay it a little bit out of the way so the water doesn't get on it.
Good thing is, the only stuff that this could come in contact with is water or diesel fuel. So.
Yeah, and it's not like we're in bare feet or anything.
Oh, shit. This one already came out.
Did it already?
Yeah.
Here, you can do a better job. Might have to shave some of those wires. So it appears as though somebody's taken like a cap, a plug out of there. I'm a little bit worried about that. That looks like 1/2-inch threads, and that looks like 3/8 fine thread. I'm gonna at least get bolts and shove in there.
This ground definitely got hot before. Looks like the spark plug's out Uncle Sam's motor.
Just keep the parts from blowing to the moon. Because I feel like that's a valve, and it may even have to have a spring, but is it
Hook the
plugged?
water up first.
It wouldn't
See
hurt
what
to
it
hook
does.
it up. Let's see what it does. We got water. We got leaks. But it's fine. Let her rip. It's just pouring water in there. It's got to come up. I wish I could get the water out of that float. We can always just fill it up and turn it on. Hey, the float's floating some. Looks like a toilet in there. Let's get the June bug out. The float's actually working. It worked perfectly.
Sounds like a toilet.
It did, exactly. Runs. It may take it a minute to pressurize. Okay, so I'm not sure what I'm seeing here.
Water.
Yeah, but that's filling that tank up more. When I turn that on, that valve is kind of janky. I wonder if it's sucking. I almost feel like it's not sucking.
Yeah.
You know what? We can open this door. We need to. Oh, look. I can do it by hand. Let's figure out. Let's open this door. I think there's a fan in there. It must be the fan that blows the air,
Yeah.
and then the oil injects into it. Oh, look at this. It contacts the igniter. Is there a fan down there?
Yep.
Can you turn it?
Nope.
It's stuck.
Yep. It might just be rusty though.
Yeah, we might oughta. I don't really want to reach in there. I guess there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
Here, you can watch it.
No, don't do that. It's locked up tighter than a drum.
I
So
wonder if it's just rusted or if the motor is just junk.
I wonder which one it is, the pump or the. We could take that pump off right there. I bet. I bet it just those two screws. Probably just. What is that? 9/16?
Yep.
1/2 inch maybe. Yeah, but boy, that fuel line is really hard as a rock. So we're gonna take this pump off and see if it's stuck or if the motor's stuck. We'll be right back.
Got it.
He's so strong.
I literally wiggled a little bit and went pop.
Did it really?
Yeah.
So we need to put some oil on
Did you
it?
hear it? It went.
I didn't hear it pop. That's the thing.
I think that's all that was wrong with it.
It's smooth. We don't need to do anything. Let's just put it back together. Now I got to remember how those wires work. Wait, do we need to tighten these up?
Oh yeah.
What kind of gizmo is us
No,
just?
they're just nuts in there.
I hope this antique looking 1918 thing on top works. That's something to do. That's a transformer to make that burner ignite or something. Any screwdriver stick in there? Another problem is we don't have water pressure. Let's just see if the burner will ignite. That's 50% of the equation.
I got
You
that.
didn't see that.
You should be recording. This is the part that they want to see.
I am recording.
Boom! This is will it run? So we're going to see if we don't have water pressure, but we're going to see if we have burner. And it may not run without water pressure because there is a solenoid there. It may be, let's see. I
can feel the heat already.
Holy cow! That's badass.
That
Now
was
if we just
easy.
had water pressure.
It
I gotta do
smells.
that again just because.
Looks like my truck's starting.
Oh, we got a flame out. Oh, you know what? It may be the no pressure. This right here may be a solenoid that has to switch that burner on or something.
Cool.
Do what?
Well, let's give it.
Try it. Try that on. Let's run the pump. It's got to pick up pressure sometime.
I wonder if these.
So one of these valves is stuck. I guarantee it's just a stuck valve.
Tap it with a hammer.
So it's slow. It's kind of cool. I've always wanted a pressure. See? So far, I'm pretty impressed. What's that?
Those both fell out.
Rusty. So that has to push that. I bet that was stuck in. Maybe, we hope. Let's
I
put
don't
it
really
back
know
on
what that
try.
does.
I don't know what the solenoid part does, or if it's a switch. Maybe it's just a switch that allows the pump to run, or the
Yeah, it might be a safety, pressure safety.
thing is the pump is running. Oh,
Shoot.
Beep.
he forgot some parts.
I was wondering why that cranked down on there so much further than before.
He was holding them. Here. Yeah, we know that it's got to have water to the pump in order to make pump water pressure.
And it never had it.
It never did. You got to look to make sure you're going in the right direction.
Yeah, this is.
It's the same
Yeah.
both ways.
I have no more parts.
I do.
Okay, now.
I bet it's going to have tape. Oh. Okay, we need suction. We forgot to hook this up, but it's not doing anything anyway. That would squirt pressure of water out of there if it was hooked up. Okay, so fail. we need to figure out is see if there's water up here yet. I know this much. If it does pressurize, it's going to shoot pressured water. Okay, smart guy. What's the problem? Or if it's a switch. Maybe it's just a switch that allows the pump to run, or the
Yeah, it might be a safety, pressure safety.
thing is the pump is running.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Shoot.
Beep. Beep.
he forgot some parts.
I was wondering why that cranked down on there so much further than before.
He was holding them. Yeah. Okay, we need suction. We forgot to hook this up, but it's not doing anything anyway. That would squirt pressure of water out of there if it was hooked up. Okay, so fail. We need to figure out, see if there's water up here.
We're getting the water out of the bottom of it.
So these are ceramic pistons. That I know. Look at that. I've never seen them before, but look at that. That's ceramic. Isn't that cool? Check that out. I've always wondered what they... That's literally a piece of ceramic. And they're good. So there's a valve in there that's stuck. I bet it's that one right there. What's it look like down in the cylinders? There's nothing in there.
Wore out.
Let's get the air and blow that out. I think it's... So is that O-rings right there? I think it is. No, down inside. No. So that's some kind of like fiberglass looking stuff.
It's like orange. It almost looks like a nylon ring.
And it looks okay. That's just oily. So there's nothing wrong here. That's just a dumb cylinder and a dumb piston.
Well, this one's sunk. Whatever this is, feel these. That one's sunk.
Well, this may push down when it's tightened up. Oh, it does. That's loose.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's this valve right here. We need to take that valve apart.
Okay.
Knock that off right there.
Knock it off.
Right down there. We probably should put it back together, but I think that's all it is. These plugs, like that plug, I think that's just a passage that they drilled. That wrench is loose. You're going to round it. Whack it. Because there's no gasket there, is there? Let's just put it back together and see what happens. Those are crazy, that ceramic piston. I've always wondered what that actually looks like. Grab that one on the... Let's put it, yeah, easy to get to. So I bet one of those is intake.
So, see these valves? See, there's a spring right there. See the spring? That spring in there, there's a little valve right there. See, it moves up and down. This one and the other one, both of them we've taken out so far, were both stuck.
So I'm thinking that's all that's wrong. I'm not going to take it. I can't get that out of there. So this goes on that one down there. Let's just take them all out. And that one doesn't feel happy in there.
Okay.
It's not. There's something. I can't quite get it with my fingertips. We're gonna figure it out. and it's gonna be cool.
We're gonna see this thing light the candles in the dark time.
Oh yeah.
The tune-up's gonna be on point.
We just gotta get a toilet flow. It's the only thing I see so far. We know that the fuel pump works. Okay, before we get too carried away, let's just make sure it's, I mean, pull it out, but make sure it's stuck. Oh, it's
Let's
stuck.
see.
It's
Watch.
like, is it, wait, did that seat?
Mhm.
Yep, good. It's a stuck rubber duck.
No.
Now what the heck? And if it was under pressure, it would load that pump down.
It's not. How do we bleed it?
I don't think it needs to be. This is something goofy.
It's like it's not getting anything past this regulator, like the regulator's
But
stuck.
if the regulator was stuck shut, it'd be like having the trigger off on the thing. It would just build pressure in the head. It's not building any pressure in
So
the
that
head.
means the rings or whatever seals the pistons are bad.
There's not any, those fiberglass looking things.
Something, yeah, because it's basically not creating any suction.
This just doesn't make sense.
But even something's wrong, because even if we put water pressure and the rings are bad or whatever, we should still get pressure out.
Yeah, it should be free flowing. Tighten that up, please. We may have to take this pressure thing off and see if we turn that hose on. Because when I turn my pump like this on, it just flows through and out.
We should
Handle.
get something out of the top. We may have to take this off and see if maybe this is.
Turn the water on one more time. I wonder if it is sucking air right there and that's causing the trouble. Maybe put a clamp on that. If it's got air going in there, maybe it's not allowing it to suck enough. It's doing something. Here, we're about to take a shower. Okay, so let's turn that off. Let's put this back on. Well, let's blow air through here. Pull the trigger on that. Let me blow air through and see if it blows anything out. Yep. Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think, no.
We'll see.
So I don't think it's enough. Maybe take the wand off of it. Yeah, I took a black shower here.
They're out here roughing it.
Yeah, blow back through. It's full of rust.
It started flowing and stopped.
It stopped.
You pointed at Nick.
Look at all the black. Holy cow. That's pure black water. Man, that's a lot of water.
That's getting worse.
That looks like
There's the
coal.
thumbnail right there.
I hope that's not burner that's rusted out.
There's a lot of freaking water in there.
It's going through the coil. So if that rust is the coil, we could be in trouble. Let's try it. This crap that's floating around in there there we go. Yeah, buddy. Blow all the rust out, then let's put the wand on. It's gonna work.
It's like,
Let the trigger off and see what happens. Oh, we're about to blow a hose. Put the wand on and let's see if it may blow back through it. Let's blow back through it.
Oh.
Because whatever kind of tip that has, it may be.
Didn't something come out?
Yeah.
A lot of somethings. All right, so now when you let the trigger off, it may blow a hose off of it. That hose is really
May not
rotten.
have the pressure switch may be bad.
Well, this hose here is the pressure hose. We're gonna have to get a new one tomorrow, and I bet you that's gonna be a challenge in our parts store. But as long as you're holding the trigger on, we don't care. We just want to see if it sprays.
Okay.
Ready? Yeah. See what we got for fun.
It's already warm.
Ah, it keeps going in.
Probably a little small.
I see smoke.
That's not a lot of pressure. What is it?
Doesn't have any heat in it really either.
No, the pump's not, the flame's not running.
I could turn this off though. See if it works now.
See, it fires up and then it goes down. What would make the pump? What would make the fire keep blowing like a thermocouple? Like hot water
But it's
heater?
still putting fuel in there because it starts smoking.
Okay, so there's something that's causing the pump. I mean the flame to flame out. So if it's still putting
I think
fuel,
it's air fuel mixture.
so what would be the culprit with that? We got a fan blowing in. See this pressure switch? This wonder if that's turning the pump off. It could be that it's not. Maybe that switch. Maybe that's a switch and not a solenoid. And it lights up, but it doesn't keep running because the solenoid, the switch isn't firing it. Wonder. So we take this front cover off.
Still all the way.
I jacked with that a little bit. That's all the way up. Maybe we ought to take that cover off and see what that switch is doing. We're down to some very basic stuff. Hand me that screwdriver. Maybe unplug this thing, Debbie.
We think we've located the problem.
And what is it?
This valve, bypass / pressure regulator valve. Because if I let off the trigger while the pump's running, the motor still tries to turn, but it'll straight up deadhead the pump and lock everything up. So I don't think the pistons or the valves are leaking by.
I think they gotta be working because that screw is stripped or something, and that's
Stuck
not.
in there.
I'm not getting that knob off of there, and that knob is what I think is keeping us from getting to the. That's got a nut probably.
Just cut it off. I don't think it's machined through.
Kind of looks like that's the case. All right, so we need to see what's going on here. That don't work so well. I bet you that valve's stuck. There I go again, I bet you.
I never knew he was a betting man.
I am tonight.
Did you hear that?
I bet a bunch. Hey, get your finger out. I want to see. Where's that penetrating oil? Oh, it's got an O-ring on it. And it's definitely sticky. Oh, look at that. Is that O-ring kind of chingus right there? No, maybe not. Put some oil on there. That doesn't move hardly at all. That can't be all the movement of that.
You wouldn't think that would flow any pressure.
And look, it's stuck open.
Yeah.
So this valve will only crack open a few thousandths of an inch. I mean like 15, 20 thousandths. And it sticks open. I just feel like it should open more than that. That's not enough to do anybody any good. Now, see that space? Let me get a flashlight. Your camera may not focus. But see how you see that space around daylight or flashlight up through there? That's open. That valve is stuck. So if I push it, it closes, but it's hanging open. Put it together. This metal working is all inside of this plastic. And there's no way, if I bent that plastic to try to get that piston out of there, it would snap it. And there's no taking it apart. That's all made together. How could, you know what, maybe, oh, I think I see. I bet you that O-ring goes on after the fact, and then if I get that O-ring off of there, I bet you that piston would come out of that hole. But how do you get that O-ring off without, I mean, I'm probably going to ruin, and it's probably a very special O-ring. But I think the O-ring swelled up and it's hanging. If that O-ring would come off, that piston would come out of that hole. All right, so I got this chance and I'm going to get it off. I'm going to ruin it. Okay, we've definitely ruined the O-ring. But I think it's junk. Okay, see, there it comes out. But that only does only move a few thousandths. But see, that moves freely now. And that O-ring was holding it. So I'm going to go see if I can find an actual... So you saw that I couldn't get that thing apart, and it was only moving a few thousandths of an inch, and I know that's not enough for water to come through. So unfortunately, I didn't have the right size O-ring, and I just messed with it, and I put an O-ring on that I was hoping would work. I put it together down inside there, and it just popped right out. It's like, oh no, that's... So I thought this plastic was the seat, and the O-ring seated up against it right there. What it actually is that's supposed to move like that and come out, and it wasn't. It was stuck down in there because that O-ring was stuck. So that left that valve open to bypass. So what I got to do now, I put that O-ring on. I think it'll work. I got to put this in there like that, and then it seals against a seat inside. So I think that's going to potentially fix the pressure problem. I'm going to put it in here. See if it actually goes in without falling apart or something. Okay, I got that in. Now I just gotta... Okay, I can feel it seating in there. I think that's our deal. So this screws in. I'm pretty sure that was our pressure pump. So basically every hose and every O-ring and everything in here, every valve, there's 6 valves in that pump, all 6 of them were stuck. And they were all full of rust. We cleaned that tank out while you guys were gone. You Facebook people or YouTube people, look at that, it's stainless steel. But the plug on the bottom just disintegrated when we went to take it out. So we replaced that plug. What goes on here? A fitting goes on this, doesn't it? Yeah, this. So I think this is the... Mika, you're about to walk into the water. It's still not building pressure like it's trying to. Okay, so the filter didn't... Wonder if the line plugged up. And defeat. Kind of sucks. I think the thing to do is just take that pump off, take it apart on the bench, and try to figure it out, make sure everything's good. And this thing down here, that's a mystery.
That's a whole, there's 2 bolts there, pull that whole, or 4 bolts there, pull that whole assembly off. Take the burner assembly out and clean it.
Make sure that pump down there is pumping.
Full tear down.
But it's still worth it.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen enough of this, don't worry.
You get more.
You're gonna see more.
So the good news is that somebody's replaced that pressure hose, and that's the expensive part. This little dinky hose, that's got to be replaced tomorrow. And probably all the barb fittings and the suction hoses, but oh well.
Blow the fuel lines out.
It's going to work good. It'll probably end up taking it all apart and painting it anyway.
It'll be like a cool old tractor.
So,
You guys ever seen one of these? No.
our jet engine. All right, well, we got lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that was a waste of time. Nice unit, cleaned up, ready to go. Horse and a half with a triplex pump. They don't work together. This thing doesn't make enough pressure to wash your dinner plate after Thanksgiving dinner. So this stuff is going. I'm taking this junk off of here. I don't want a 10 horsepower 220 three-phase motor on here with an extension cord the size of a exhaust pipe. So I'm putting my gas-powered 11 horsepower Honda and triplex pump up here. I'll have gasoline-powered pressure and diesel 110 volt fired hot water. It will make the steam. So I'm getting ready to rip this stuff off of here and put that on. Come along, watch me tear this thing up.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sha la la la, 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 sha la la la. Ships on docking, planes on landing, never ends supply. No more Marco, no more gangsters, can't servitudes, can't cry. I took the law, I threw it away, 'cause nothing wrong is just for play. There's no law, no law anymore. I wanna steal from the rich and give to the poor.
Okay, electric motor is off. And I'm pretty sure that motor's been there for the duration of this machine. I rewired this. I've got just a simple 110 plug on it now for the small motor on the burner. Thermostat's rewired. The wires were just rotten. But that little thing doesn't take much power, so this cord will be enough to run it. Now, the pump.
It was glowing, 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 glowing in the dark.
There we go. It's just a hot water heater on wheels now. So next, get this thing off of here. I hope I don't have to cut those studs, because someday I might want to put it back. I doubt it, but anyway, I don't want to cut those studs off if I don't have to. So I did get all this rewired. Burner works. That switch is fake now, but getting ready to take this thing apart. So let's get after it.
Was sparkling, 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 sparkling in the night. I took the law, I threw it away, 'cause nothing wrong is just for play. There's no law anymore. I wanna steal from the rich and give to the poor.
So the new pump and the new engine sitting on the old pressure washer, and I'm trying to figure out where to put it. It's just sitting up there right now. I think I'm gonna scoot it to this side a little bit, kind of like it is here. It's a little bit offset, and stuff like that bugs me, but I don't want this pump sitting so far over here that it gets in the way of this hose. I'm going to be putting the pressure regulator off of the old stuff back on here, and it comes out kind of like this. So this knob's going to be right behind this hose. I'm going to try to put a street L on here and turn this hose. It's got to go back in the pressure regulator right here. So I think by scooting it over off center, it'll help everything line up. The water supply hooks up down here. I'll try to put some kind of a 90 degree on that. These things have some funny fittings though. I'm not sure what I can do here, but I'll figure something out. Worst case scenario, just have to come up with a hose from the front of it. That's not going to change no matter where I put this motor. The thing that I do have to be concerned with, of course, there is a brace, and I'm talking right there. So I'm going to have to scoot it over to get away from, there's a piece of square tube, it looks like, welded under here. I'm going to scoot it over that way just enough to get off of that brace, which probably will be better in the long run because I can't stand stuff that looks crooked anyway. So, all right, I'm going to move it over, try to mark some holes and drill them, bolt this engine down, and then it's just plumbing.
Winter turns to summer. Sadness turns to fun. Keep the faith, baby. You broke the rules and won.
All right, I think it's time to take it out and test it. Everything's bolted down, oil's changed, the regulator off of the old electric pump work is on here. Everything's adapted to it. This quick connect from my garden hose is obviously in a bad position. I need to turn it and bring it out. But like everything else on here, that's some kind of special threads, and I've got to figure out what to do. Debbie just got back from the parts store, and they changed this end of my hose that she had made last night. I made the mistake of telling them 1/2-inch male on both ends, which was right. I had adapters, but there was no swivel, so I couldn't put it on. I ended up cutting it and grinding the end off of the hose and putting it on with hose clamps, and it blew off last night with the pressure of the electric pump, so I knew that wasn't going to work. But they had what it needed, which we got 1/2 inch on this end and 3/8 on this end. It screws right in. So I think everything's hooked up and ready to go. It's heavy. It's not as easy to move around as it was on this, but it's hot water now. So we're going to take it outside and see how a test run works. Appears that it had a piece of trash in the line. I'm going to run some water through it and wash any of that trash out that I can. So somewhere in this thing, there's still enough dirt that it's plugging my nozzle up. You can see through there now, but it keeps plugging it up. So looks like I've got a leak right here. That's not too bad. The rest of it seems to be tight. So what I'm going to do is run water through the gun for a little while. I think it's coming out of the coils inside because everything else is new. So we'll run some water through it, and then I'll put the nozzle on and we'll turn the fire on. It's working, but I got a couple bugs to work out. The heat is coming right up into the engine, so it's going to get the motor hot. So I'm going to build a shield to change that where it can't suck the hot air, and the burner shuts off as soon as you let the trigger off. That's the way it did on the electric one, but you got to hold the trigger on for it to get hot water in there. So I got to work on something. Alrighty then, well, what I know for certain is that it makes hot water and the pressure is there. Everything seems to be working as it should. I'm going to give it my favorite stuff, bleach white, to clean the oil and stuff off that I might not get with just water, even hot water. I suppose this is kind of defeating the purpose of having a hot water sprayer, but it's still not shooting chemical. So it's only going to get so clean. I'm going to try to clean it up and make it look good because this motor's been neglected for a long time as far as cosmetics go. And this thing, this is the grease from the motor sitting on it all this time for years and years. I don't know what I'm going to do with this rack now. One thing about it, I've got a pressure washer that will clean it. So I'm gonna go ahead and soak it in some bleach white while I'm here. Give this a little bit more. Get it all up inside where all that oil and grease is hiding. I think it's gonna be nice. I may rewire the let me think, how could that work? What I wanted to do is come on the burner to come on and get it to temperature, but it won't get to temperature unless the water's flowing, because the thermocouple's at the very end, just before it goes into the rubber hose. So if I leave it there, it would never see hot water. It'd burn the coil up before it got hot there. So it has to be flowing water through. So I guess I just have to deal with it. It's got to be flowing water in order for it to activate the thermocouple. And it's got the switch on the pump that won't, it's just the burner off when you're not squeezing the trigger so it doesn't burn up. I guess that's just part of it. So it didn't take long. It took seconds for that water to get hot. I mean, less than a minute it was hot coming out of my pressure washer. So I'm going to pressure wash this stuff. I'll set you up here where you can see, and we'll just get this old stand cleaned up. What I have to hope for is that coil is not ruined, because it's like it's breaking the deposits loose that are left in that coil, and it's plugging the nozzle up. Hopefully that's not a sign of the coil being rotted out. I think it's stainless steel, but I can't swear to it. I hope it's stainless steel. So let's try it one more time. So, just so you can see this grease melt away, this is amazing. The burner kicks on, and I know cold pressure washer will do pretty good, but it's not going to do like that. You can see the steam coming off of the hose, off of the ground. There we are, we're plugged up again. Got to stop and clean that out. Okay, there you have it. That's a wrap. I'm calling this project done for the weekend. I'm gonna get back on my truck, but everything seems good. A couple little weird things, and I'm gonna put a longer cord on it just because I realize that that's always gonna be a problem, laying in water. So I'm gonna put a long cord on it, maybe cut that extension cord up. And let's see what else. It's kind of weird because when you first squeeze the trigger on the gun, it takes this regulator as opposed to the old one just a second before the pressure comes on. It's just something I'll get used to, but it's a different regulator than what that pump used to have. Used to, it was instant, but it's working, and it's probably working exactly like it's supposed to. It's just different parts. So this thing's cleaned up. That hot water makes a big difference. I hope. You guys can let me know. For those of you who use hot water cleaners and cold water will blast a lot of stuff off with enough pressure and with soap, but the hot water is definitely going to help on greasy stuff. So that's it. Thanks for watching. It's not exactly what I intended, but it's pretty darn good. See you next time.